Morning.
Morning.
We're in the car. We tried to do the live stream outside, but you know what? It's just not working. There's just so much going on outside. So it's just not working. So we decided we just get into the car.
What date is today?
Today is the 1st of September and it's my favourite time of year. I love the autumn. I love Christmas, but I really love the autumn because I don't know, it's just, I love seeing the change. I put up on my Facebook the other day, there's a little thing I put up every September and it says, the trees are about to show us how beautiful it is to let things go.
Well, that's very good.
Isn't that lovely? I'm walking around the park this morning, see all the leaves on the ground and they're dry and they're changing colours and it's just beautiful because they're just letting go. And I just love the way, I know I'm going to get a little bit philosophical, but it's just lovely the way they sort of just let go now of the summer. They just let go of all the green leaves. They just let them all go and they just move into the next season just in complete obedience and submission to God's laws of nature. I think it's amazing.
Well, Ecclesiastes says there's a season and a time for everything.
Amen. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I said this to someone the other day. It's very important to recognize the season.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Because what happens is sometimes we're in one season moving into another season, and a lot of people try and force out that season into another season.
Or try and dictate the season.
Yeah. And what God does is God knows what season you're in and what season you're going into. Yeah. So I said this to someone else the other day as well. With God, everything with God is timing. Otherwise, there will be no seasons, there will be no timing. So with God, everything is timing and seasons.
It's perfect, isn't it?
And there's a verse in the Old Testament says, and the sons of Ziklar, I think Ziklar, knew the times and the seasons that they were in. And I think we need to identify the season we're coming into now. And not just identify it, but also embrace it. Yeah. And so in that season.
Embrace the change, embrace the day, seize the day, carpe diem, isn't that what they say? Seize the day, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We were talking actually, we were out walking now about the life of Joseph. And if you think about it, his life had so many twists and turns and seasons of oppression and seasons of accusation and seasons of just isolation and misunderstanding. And he just seemed to roll with the punches. He was amazing. Yes. And I'm sure, I don't know, when we're in eternity, we meet Joseph, I'm sure he'll tell us about some many dark nights. I think he probably had more than anybody. But how he just, you know, went with what was presented. Do you know what I mean? Like do you know what always fascinates me about Joseph was, you know, when the baker comes in and the cupbearer, is baker and cupbearer?
Yeah.
And he seizes the opportunity. Now, I don't know about you, right? But I would be in the corner sucking my thumb going, everyone's forgotten about me.
Yes.
But he's sitting there in all of that desperation. He sees these guys coming in and he does what he does. He interprets the dreams and then he says, don't forget me, because he's holding on to hope. And the change of the season, it brings a new day and it brings new challenges, but it brings fresh hope as well.
Yeah. So, yeah. You see, you have to understand something. A time comes when Joseph comes out.
Yeah.
So there was a time in God's frame, in God's timeline. Now, Joseph, you've done that part of your life. This is the next phase of your life.
Yeah, man.
And I think we have to understand, because in other words, in order to roll or work with the season, we have to identify the season we're in. We have to identify the time that we're in. And we have to be very careful that we sow in the season that we're in. Do you know what I'm saying?
And sometimes the season we're in is working towards the destiny, but it's not the completed picture yet. So I suppose what we're talking about this morning is identifying the season that you're in. Like, you know, sitting this morning, taking a few moments, just like, where am I? Where am I going? Where am I at? And, you know, like we have 3 daughters, you all know, like one is in university, one's about to get her results. And so they're not at the finish line yet. Like Rachel's in her last year of university, but she's not at the finish line yet, but she's working towards, so she knows the season she's in.
Yeah.
She knows where she's at now. She's at the season now studying for the future. And it's all leading to the future, but we're not in the future yet, if that makes sense. You know, she's not in the finished time frame yet. She's not in the finished picture yet, but we're working towards it. And sometimes, I don't know, this morning, I just feel to encourage you. If you feel like you're still not at the finish line, if you're still not at the finished picture, be encouraged that the season you're in is working you towards that finished picture. Yeah. It's working you towards the picture of the destiny that you have in mind. You know, and I know Joseph is extreme in a prison, all the everything he went through, the highs and the lows, but he still held on to the hope of the destiny and the hope of the promise of the picture. And it's lovely to think that he began with a picture in his dream. So, you know, this morning, don't be frustrated if you're not at the finish line yet, if you're not quite there yet. Just embrace the process, embrace what God is doing today, embrace the season that's dawning today.
Well, James says this, and this is where I close it. He says, do not grow tired or weary. for in due season or due time, you should reap a harvest.
Amen.
So it's very important to identify the season you're in, to sow wisely in the season,
invest in the
and
season.
then hold out and believe, for the harvest is coming for your life.
And in God's kingdom there's principles. God is a God of order, and if you look at the harvest and the sowing, there's no point in the farmer going out today and like planting all the seed and going out in the morning and saying, well, where's the crop? He knows he's in the season of sowing. So he invests in the sowing. And then the next phase will be the season of, I don't know, whatever he does next, the feeding of it, the watering of it, the caring for it, until the day comes when he wakes up and it's the season of the harvest. So I don't know, I just feel in my heart this morning to encourage you. If you feel like you're not at the finish line yet, if you feel like you're constantly working towards this finish line, it is there. And just think of the life of Joseph and how patient he was. And I'm sure there was days he was angry. I'm sure there was days he was confused. I'm sure there was days he wept and lamented over the life that he was sort of stranded in, it seemed. But something about Joseph in those seasons, he was willing to hold on to the hope and willing to hold on to the finish line. He knew that God had promised him something. So hold on to the promises of God this morning, whatever season you're in, hold on to them and encourage yourself. That farmer going out to tend his fields every single day is holding on to the finished part.
Absolutely.
He's believing for that harvest day. So the harvest day is coming. Might not be right now, but it is coming. So just keep working in the season you're in. Amen.
So listen, have a great weekend.
Amen.
And hopefully see you this Sunday morning at 11 o'clock.
And don't forget my women's conference. It's filling up fast. So if you want to come along, you can check out the page here. There should be something. It's the Real Women's Conference, and it's on the 16th and 17th of September. Amazing speakers. So if you want to come along, we'd love to see you. Just check in here and the Eventbrite link is there.
So have a great weekend.
See you soon.